going on, everybody? It's Jeremy, Warfels Morse, inside the Coils. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on this awesome Easter Sunday. So, if you do celebrate Easter, happy Easter, folks. We've got an awesome guest. We got Mike Osmun from Osmun Reptiles. Super excited to have him on because he does a lot of the shows that I do as well. And he's always got killer stuff. Plus, I had the opportunity to talk to him at Gettysburg a little bit more. Found out that, he's got a really cool setup, especially like for some of his tourists and everything. So we're going to dive into a whole bunch of different stuff here tonight. And I'm excited for it. Mike he works with a bunch of different species, I'm finding out. So let's go ahead and bring on the co-hosts. We got the one and only Mr. John Triforce Morris. What's up, brother?
What up?
And dude, I swear, like, this man never ceases to be able to flabbergast me every time. Like, every time the Sunday show comes around, I think to myself, what is Sorrentino going to do to just baffle me? And he never ceases to amaze me. Never. Or maybe it ceases to disappoint. I don't know. Anyway, folks, just don't put your drinks down. Just put your drinks down. Don't take a sip. Here is Peter Cottontail.
Hello, happy Easter. I stole Daisy's ears.
I was gonna say, it looks like you've got pigtails and everything.
Top it. Happy Easter.
Oh, dude, those suck, man.
Smarties are the shit.
I hate Smarties.
No, you're stealing the baby's candy.
Sweet Tarts. I know John's over there stealing the baby's candy.
Nah, these are mine. This is my Easter. You're Smarties.
It's like my first Easter. Give me your candy, kid.
I'm a Fun Dip guy myself, but you couldn't find me any Fun Dip this year. It was sold out.
This is kind of like almost Sorrentino with his jerky.
Gummy bears.
I like gummy bears too. All
right, so let's go ahead. Mike's probably thinking, what in the hell did I sign up for? Like, I thought maybe these guys were at least somewhat half-assed professional, but obviously.
He knows. He's been kicking around. He knows there's no professionalism. I hope he does.
Let's go ahead and bring Mike on. What's up, Mike?
I don't got any ears.
I'm going to say this, Mike. I will apologize ahead of time for anything that Mr. Deep down there may do during this live.
No, me and Mike are good.
Oh, man. All right, let's go through, say hi. Freaking Sorrentino, I swear, man. One of these days, you'll come in as a normal person, but at that point, I'll probably think you're sick.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to some of the people here in the chat quick. We got Jamie, Tire Gods Morse. What's going on, dude? Channel member. Thanks for tuning in.
What's up?
Jamie's got a couple of snakes sitting over here waiting for him, so anxious to get them out to him. Echo Morph, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Tara Voodoo Doll Royals, another channel member. Good to see you. Brittany, this wonderful lady joined us last week and basically was the voice of reason with us. She helped keep us in line last week. Mr. Greg Klein, Scaled Paranoia, channel member and channel sponsor. What's going on, dude? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Phil, what's going on, brother? Finger Snakes. Good to see you, bro. Our dad's going crazy. What's going on? Let's see who else we got here. Dalton, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. And we've got Mark as well, Brotherhood Exotic Morse. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yes, everybody, please smash that like button. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Please greatly appreciate it. And make sure you guys ring that notification bell. Let's see here. Let's What Dalton say here? My hypo clown boy has been locking. Nice, Dalton. Congrats, you. Congrats.
Yeah, buddy.
So let's go ahead. Let's run the first channel sponsor quick, and then we will get the show on the road because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've got to be up at 4 o'clock. So, like at 10 o'clock, we definitely if we're going to end up looking like we're going to go longer than 10, we're going to have Mike back on again, which I'm cool with. But who knows if Mike's going to want to come back on after tonight. But yeah, I've got to be up at like 4, so we've got to have a hard cutoff at 10 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to try to keep everything rolling pretty good. So let's go ahead and do the first round of channel sponsors, and then we'll get into it. Where do I want to be here? There we go.
Make sure you check out Nathan at Infinite Possible Pythons. He is your guy to go to if you want to get into the Bang project. On top of it, he's working a bunch of awesome ball python projects. Kahua geckos, Leachianus geckos, crested geckos, some scaleless corn snakes, and he is your one-stop shop for all your branding needs. So check him out. Check out Chris Shelley over at S Reptilia if you need a high-end ball python, blood python, locality boa, or colubrid. He's also Pennsylvania's distributor of Coco to Go and the Chipper, and he can also hook you up with some rats. So make sure you guys check out Chris over at S Reptilia.
All right, everybody. So everybody is aware. I'm going to give this note here right away in first thing. The barbecue is June 21st. If you are planning on attending Wharf Fest, Wharf Stock, whatever in the hell you want to call this thing that we do. What's wrong, John?
No, I'm talking to Christine. Something popped up on my
computer. June 21st, message me. I need a head count ASAP so that way, I know how much food to have Mel make because we are having it catered by Mr. Mel. And we're going to have some damn good food this year. I'm going to tell you that much right now.
Whose arm?
Pork barbecue. We're gonna have ribs, barbecue chicken. It's lots of good stuff. So, Mike, that offer also goes to you, bro. If you want to come, make the venture to Pennsylvania, here to old Amish country. But so yeah. So everybody, let me know. I need a head count ASAP. I've got a list started up. I think we're at like all but 20 people right now. So mark your calendars, June 21st. Brittany, if people want to bring like a side or like a dessert, that's cool. Other than that, like the main food's covered. If you want people want to bring drinks, or it is BYOB. I'm not gonna support the boozing. I'm not gonna support the boozing, folks. You guys got to bring your own booze, but don't make that. You guys got to remember, I have ball python beer. I don't make that kind of money. Support all your drinking habits, but yeah. So it is BYOB, but yeah, if people want to bring desserts or a side dish, that's awesome. But the main course is covered for sure. So that being said, like I said, message me on Instagram. That's the easiest way to, just let me know because I check that more than Facebook. So that's my big spiel. Matt, let me know. Barbecue, June 21st, ASAP. So, Mike, we're going to put you up. Let me figure out here. We're going to do, that's definitely not the right one. There we go. We're going to do this. Put you up on the big screen. Tell us, hold on, I got to get and I'm blocking John out now. I don't want to get yelled at by John. Having that awesome logo over his face. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike. What got you into it? What made you want to start being, the breeding aspect of it?
Okay. My dad was a science teacher. So growing up, he took me out. We'd catch snakes, all that kind of stuff. I was a huge Steve Irwin fan as well. When I was in college, I worked at a pet store. Basically, Petco, all of my college, supported the habits, bought the books, that kind of stuff. People would drop animals off all the time. And basically, as an employee, they would give us like first choice if we wanted to adopt them. So I started adopting all sorts of stuff, iguanas, corn snakes, bearded dragons, frilled dragons. And basically, my college dorm was like filled with all these reptiles. And when I graduated and moved back home, It was then my basement there. And I kind of kept just a sporadic array of stuff till I met my wife. When I met her, she like started buying expensive ball pythons. My first one was what was it? I think I got a pastel lesser and a spider from Nerd. And that was, I didn't want to spend the money. I was finding just my cheap corn snakes. I shouldn't say cheap, my low valued corn snakes that I got as adoption animals, But so she bought me these 2 ball pythons, and that was kind of the beginning of the end for me, because I was like, oh, this is cool. These are cool, And then I started learning all about the different morphs and this, that, and I am also a science teacher. So,
oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, ball pythons.
I didn't know that.
Well, I should say this. I was a science teacher for 16 years. The last 3 years, I've been on sabbatical / took a break from teaching to kind of just do reptiles and help run my farm and help my kids, just because they're 7 and 9, so they were going into school. And once I was coming home from teaching, and then I was waking up early and staying up late to do all the animal stuff, my kids were like, "Hey, help me with homework," and I was like, "Yeah, right. That's the last thing I wanted." And I knew that was bad, so I was like, "I got to take a break from teaching for a little bit while I kind of get my kids into school and get them going." And I don't know how many more years it'll last if this reptile market doesn't.
Yeah,
I know. But, for now, that's what I'm doing. I guess it's been like 14 years since I met my wife, and that's basically when I got my first ball pythons. And then once you start shooting them and making babies, you're like, oh, this thing's awesome and this thing's cool. I remember I was like probably my second year producing, and my wife was, I don't know if I was married yet, but she's like, you got to start selling something. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I probably should. But you're so excited when you make those first, het clowns and pastels, things like that.
Those first ones are hard to let go, man.
Yeah.
Now, how much back then was pastel lesser and like a bumblebee roughly? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh, I don't remember. I feel like she paid, I want to say like it was a pastel lesser female and a spider female, and $650 or $750 or something for the 2 of them. We thought, and I don't know if that's even accurate. I believe that's what she told me, but I knew it was a lot more than I was willing to spend at that time. Since I was literally working with free steaks, and little $25 corn steaks that I was selling to the local pet store. So for me, I was like, oh my God, that's a lot, And then she would, every gift, teacher appreciation day, I got a new cool snake. My birthday, a new cool snake. Christmas, a new cool snake. And I would, that whole probably first couple years, almost every purchase that I made, she was the one buying it for me. And then I got crazy with it once I started selling and making a little bit of money. And now I'm at where I'm at now with a whole lot of.
That's badass. So is that like she was that gung ho and supportive off the freaking start? My wife has yet to buy me a steak. I wish she was watching. And so like drop a couple of hints here, honey. I mean,
yeah, I'm very appreciative, and she's been very supportive. And before I had kids, she actually came to the shows with me. She stayed behind the table with me. When I was still like doing YouTube videos, she was always the one filming for me. Actually, probably half the reason I stopped doing YouTube videos was when I film myself, all I see is this shiny, sweaty forehead. And I'm like, I don't like when I'm holding a camera doing that. So I stopped basically doing them once I lost my camera woman. And that wasn't until my first kid was born. Then basically she would stay with the kid and I would be working and doing all the things that I was filming before. But
that's been my biggest struggle, because Dom, my oldest son, Dom, always he was the cameraman. I mean, I'd be like, hey, let's go down and shoot a video. I was able to stand up, move around through the snake room, egg cutting. It was perfect because he knew exactly what I wanted.
Like, when did you start YouTube?
That was a long time ago.
I'm only asking because you're one of the first channels I found when I started.
Yeah, crazy enough, I've had a number of people say that to me, and sometimes I kick myself because I'm like, I see these people that are making money off YouTube and so famous and everything like that, and where's my wife at right now? She needs to hear that. Get back in here. But,
people local, like I said, you're definitely one of the ones that was like right around the time I started. You were on YouTube, and I was doing other reptiles, but the ball pythons. I found your channel, and it was like, oh my God, this guy's like in my backyard. Like, you were only, I think, in Jersey at that point, or Virginia, or
I've actually always been in Maryland, but
Maryland, my fault.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, I know it was around the PA.
Yeah.
And see, I thought you were in Maryland, but I wouldn't have laid a bet on it.
But yeah, I was like, man, he's not that far, because I'm thinking like, all these ball python breeders are out in California, down in Florida, and he had, like I said, he had very like comparable snakes to what I was starting with. So I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool though.
Yeah. So just on a quick tangent with the YouTube, because I was a teacher, when my students would find out, they're like, "Oh, you're so cool," this, that. And I was like, "Guys, I'm not." Like, they thought it was the coolest thing. And random enough, I had no clue who these guys were till after the fact. But I get a phone call. Hey, we need a snake for a video. We're going to be at this gymnastics gym. It's like 15 minutes from where I live. I was like, sure, I can do that. And I was like, $50. I was like, pay for my time, So I go and they do a video. And I had no clue I wasn't even going to be in the video. I wasn't even like, now I'm not even repping my brand. But I wasn't wearing any Osmun Reptiles stuff, just wearing like a normal shirt. And they had me in the video, like holding the snake and watching all these things. Well, I go to find out later it's the Dobre brothers, who apparently are like really big YouTubers with followers. Well, 7th graders know who they are. So when my students were like, "Yo, I saw you on a Dobre brothers video. Man, you're so cool. Like, can we meet him? Can we meet him?" They're like, "Do you have their number?" I'm like, "Well, they called me from this number." Lord. Sorry, I'm getting text. Apparently my AC's not working upstairs.
Uh-oh.
My wife is like, "It's 79 up here."
Ooh, that's a little toasty.
I was gonna say, I'm used to the reptile room. It's 82 in there, so I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, it should be nice and cool outside to open up a window.
Yeah, I don't know why she's not opening a window, to be honest.
Yeah, I usually open up a window with a fan, put a fan on.
We bought the new property, and the house needed a lot of work, and all of our appliances are like right on the line of going out. We just had what was it? Actually, I think it was one of the AC units went out, and they just replaced it. And the guy told me, he goes, "The other one's going to probably go anytime." Don't need to be paying
mini splits. The mini splits, or
no. Those. So what I have in my building is all new, basically. So that works great. My rat room is like 70 degrees and nice and cool right now.
Yeah,
mini splits in the building, but it's the house has just, I don't know what they're called. I don't really know that stuff, but regular
central air.
Yeah, we have one for the upstairs and one for the downstairs, and the downstairs is, I mean, it's not set very cool, but it's working. But apparently upstairs is not.
That's the worst thing with getting a new property, because when we got our house, everything was hunky dory. Within the first year, we were putting in a whole new water system. Then what was it? The water system went, then the septic system went. We had to go get a sand mound put in. Then after that, the central air and everything that went. So it's just like everything big and expensive is just boom, 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 year after year. Like, you've got to be kidding me on this crap.
Yeah.
That shit's rough, man. That shit's rough. I feel you on it.
There goes buying any of those new snakes.
Oh my god! Yeah,
that also made me kind of have that. We're gonna do this slow rolling, slow and steady. We're not gonna go hog wild right off the rip, just because at that point, the snakes were funded by me. Now at least the snakes fund the snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, give us a little insight, Mike. How long have you been doing this as this is what you want to be doing? Like, I'm going to say professional breeder wise.
So I stopped teaching 3 years ago. So
okay.
I was teaching, like I said, I think it was 16 years. And for, I don't know, the last 10 or 12 of those years, I was also doing the snakes. And that was what made it really difficult too, because it would be like I was up at 5 a.m., working till I had to leave. You get home, deal with the kids, eat dinner, this, that. And then as soon as the kids went to bed, I was down in the room working till midnight, then go up, shower, go to bed. And it was like just over and over. And, it was taking its toll. And snakes I love. I like teaching, but it's not as much of a passion for me as the animals. The animals, my undergrad was a zoology degree. When I graduated, I really couldn't get very many jobs. I worked at NIH for a little bit, but yeah, there wasn't a lot of options. Both my parents were teachers, so they were like, "Hey, come a teacher." And I was like, "All right." So I went back and got my master's in teaching, and then taught for 16 years. And again, I like teaching. Like I tell my students, I'm a great actor. I can put on a great show, and I love to bring in what I do at home into the school. Like when we teach genetics, I tell them all, use Punnett squares to show them how recessive traits work, in ball pythons, and like line breeding for certain traits in my rodents. Like back in the day, my wife actually even helped me clean rodents back in the day. But she would always be like, "Oh, this one's cute. We have to keep it." So I had all these Dumbo-eared rats that were like the cute gray or cute blonde color, and a ton of those, and it wasn't doing the exact perfect way to breed them. Instead of breeding for big and healthy rats, they gave me huge litters. I was getting designer rats that I had to feed off. But,
It's weird to have it put as designer rats, but it's basically true. I mean, I have found that people love, those certain, like you said, designer rats.
Dude, I get good selling designer rats. I get good selling designer rats.
A little old lady ran a little like bird rodent store, and she would buy, like 10 or 12 of the designer rats off me every couple of weeks. It was great until she closed down the store, and then I was like, "Damn, I don't know what to do with these extra rats. I guess I need to buy more snakes."
Dude, I had like Siamese, the Rex, the Dumbo. It was great. It was fun. Yeah.
That's just
Shauna. Just for you, Shauna.
Let's see. Just George here says, or George says, just here to say thank you to all you guys after watching a few videos of yours. We just confirmed the purchase of a baby granite jaguar. Awesome. Congrats.
Nice.
Thank you guys, and all the best to all of you. Thank you. Awesome. Congrats. Now look at this guy.
What up?
What's up?
How you doing? Everybody, hit that like button, please. Please.
Yeah, let me do that. Make sure
you hit that subscribe as well. If you don't hit that subscribe, you're going to have to watch Sorrentino make those ears flop all night long.
But Mike, I know there's that one science teacher lady. She like breeds snakes in the classroom, and they cut the eggs in the classroom. I was like,
that's cool.
That's freaking cool, man. I wish I had a teacher like that.
I would do all of our like science nights and our STEM nights and things like that. I did in my county. We had a thing called Outdoor Ed for sixth graders, where they basically go to a camp area for a couple days, and I would usually do a reptile show for that. My biggest fear with leaving anything in my classroom was like when they lock the building on the weekends and they lock the building after hours, and I can't get in there to get to my animal like that. I just didn't like that idea. So I was like, I'm not keeping anything in there. I was like, I'll bring stuff in every so often, show you guys, and do that kind of thing. But yeah, I did not want to.
Hey, you're bringing the normals in there.
Yeah.
Normal had bullshit.
Yeah, corn snakes was the easiest actually for that, because they don't even need that much heat. I can just put the temp up in the room and they'd be okay.
Yeah.
So what species are you breeding now, Mike? I know you do the balls and you do the bows. You do anything else?
So I try to do other things. I'm officially the worst Woma python breeder, I think. So I got a
I am. I might be title now.
I was going to say, I think you're going to have a go around on that one.
I have bred that every year
time for last.
God, like 5 or 6 years, 7 years. I get eggs every year from her, and every year the eggs go bad. Except for the very first year I bred them. I got 14 eggs. I put them in 7 in one, 7 in the other, did them on the exact same level in the incubator. These 7 hatched, these 7 went bad. Those 7 sold before I even got any like food into them. I still fed them before I shipped them off. But people were like, I want them. I'm like, hey, I usually don't like to even take deposits till I get food in their bellies. People were like, no, I want them. Now they weren't expensive. I think I sold them for like $3.50 each. But literally, they were all sold instantly, so I didn't even hold anything back. Then the next year, I get eggs, all go bad. And literally, she gave me eggs this year. This was, I think, 4th year, 5th year in a row. Eggs all went bad already. Now this year,
molding or just rotten?
Yeah, like
they're hard to keep going, Chris. Like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Long story short, with my Womas, I never made womas. First year we got eggs. They went bad, like Mike was saying. Then I got slugs. And then I had a buddy breed a blackhead. He brought the blackhead here. He was like, dude, if she lays eggs, can you incubate them? Well, she laid eggs and they were perfect. So I think it was like, 7 or 8 blackhead pythons. So I'm sitting there making blackheads, but not womas. I'm like, what the freak, man, right?
Yeah.
But it took me almost a year to get them going on their own. Like I had to freaking scent the rats, and I tried quail. We tried everything with these damn things. But I still have yet to make a woma python. I got one that's gravid right now. We'll see what she does, but I can't make them.
I remember those blackheads actually. I think I almost bought one.
Yeah, dude, they were sweet.
I was like, ooh, I kind of should I?
Yep. Yeah, we ended up selling that girl to the blackhead to a zoo.
Oh,
because I didn't have a male for it. The dude I got it from did, and I was going to get the male and whatever. But I'm like, I know if I go to breed these things, it's gonna be a failure.
Yeah, disaster.
So a zoo reached out, and a zoo ended up getting her.
Well, I mean, and because I don't do anything with womas, they are badass looking. But do they need to incubate at different temperatures than like carpets?
They still.
You figure they're all Australian, so they're similar climates.
I've talked to a lot of people that like the womas, like it's like the temperatures versus the humidity. If anything goes off on them, like it's just doomsday.
Yeah,
it's the only way I can describe it. Like Mike Schultz from worked with Outback and stuff. He does a lot of woma stuff, and he was like, "John, this is the 50-50 mix. Like they're gonna
really?
go." Yeah,
I was actually talking to Ian about it. He was like, basically, you want to check them every single day and wipe them down. I literally put a paper towel on the bottom. I put 2 light diffusers, and I like take my finger and sprinkle a little bit of water on the paper towel so that there's just a little bit of moisture in there.
Same thing. Yep.
The one time I did get the eggs to hatch, that's what I did. And the 7 times the eggs went bad, that's what I did. So I'm like, I don't even understand.
I'm hoping this year if they go and actually get good viable eggs, I'm hoping we're going to try the Orbi effect with the water in the bottom seat because that usually keeps a higher humidity and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try. I never tried press and seal on my woma eggs. I wasn't into press and seal at that time. So I'm hoping maybe that has an effect on it.
Yeah, definitely keep me updated.
I'll definitely let you know. Like I said, we do press and seal on all the eggs now, but back in the day we didn't do that. Like we've only started that probably 4 years now, maybe. So definitely up the odds of eggs hatching with the press and seal, just even on the balls, even on bluebirds and whatever.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the other things I breed, corn snakes. I have a small group of them still. A little bit higher end than back in the day. I got like some scaleless stuff, and I'm growing up palmetto and I think Tessera. I'm still learning all the daggone morphs though. There's so many with corn snakes. But yeah, I got at least 6 females, possibly 7. I forgot to label one if it was male or female that I held back. And I finally was just like, oh, I guess when breeding season time finally comes 3 years later, I'll find out if you held it back as a boy or a girl. I can't remember. So I got 6, possibly 7 females to breed in my corn snakes.
Yeah, I always got to probe them damn things.
Yeah, I don't even feel like dealing with it.
I said, do they even sit still long enough to probe? Every time I see a corn snake,
they're not
just go.
Oh yeah, you got to like put them. Well, what I did with my womas actually the very first time before I bred them, because at first my male didn't want to do anything. Now he does the job every time. But I put him in a pillowcase and just held his tail out and the back and the thing, and then I was able to kind of like not have to worry about where his head was flying, biting my side or something. And I was able to probe him, and I was like, all right, well, he is a boy. But yeah, other things. So I have a pair of Angolan pythons, a pair of Sabu pythons, and both of them I was told need to be like 5 or 6 years old before even breeding them. I think actually this year they both are 5 or 6 years old. And I tried with the Savus, and I thought they were showing a little like they were going to breed, but I never caught a lock. I put the Angolans together, and they didn't do anything. They literally went to opposite sides. I think my male's still small. He like only wants to eat mice. So he's
you ever have any problems with your Angolans, like regurgitations and stuff like that?
My male has definitely regurgitated before.
Yeah, what the heck's up with that, dude?
Mice.
Every damn Angolan I've ever had, like I had a couple of okay, but like I've had like 12 of them probably over the years. 6, 7 of them regurgitated, like here and there. I always have problems. Why I got out of that species because of it. I was like, what is going on? I studied like freaking, temperatures and everything, because I'm like, what the hell? Because they're such a cool species. I just could never get them to do what I want. Like,
Yep, that's exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with
problem.
it. My male did the same thing. I mean, he would do wean rats, and he would hold them down pretty good, and then as soon as I try and bump them up to a small, man, regurged. And then it's like,
I had one that never even regurgitated on me. Give it to Mike Schultz, start regurgitating. I said, what the hell, man? Like,
Yeah,
even a good one freaking did it.
yeah, that makes you feel a little bit better knowing it's not just me.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I not figure it out, man. I was like, I give him like the tiniest little mice.
Yep.
And he's so much smaller than the female because of it. He asked for me. He's been keeping down mice. But I give him like, I think they were the bag was labeled medium.
Yeah.
Medium mice. I literally feed my corn snakes bigger meals than I feed him, and he's like a 5 or 6 year old Angolan python. You know.
Yeah.
Like, what else do I have? I think that's all the species snake wise that I have. I love, like you mentioned, I think earlier. I love turtles and tortoises. They are not what you do if you want to make money, though, because that's a time-consuming thing. I love to spend my money on turtles and tortoises, but I really enjoy species I can keep outdoors. So I build like these outdoor enclosures. And when we moved to the new property, I had a lot more space, so I was able to set up like a really big enclosure. And then I made it into like, what is it? It's 5 smaller enclosures. I got ponds in 3 of them. And those are all for like turtles. So I have like North American wood turtles, Eastern box turtles,
That's cool.
North American spotted turtles, musk turtles, mud turtles. Then the next one over, I got 3-toed box turtles and Reeves turtles. And then the other one, I have Gulf Coast box turtles and Chinese box turtles.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah,
I didn't know you.
The 2 enclosures that don't have ponds, I have Herman's tortoises and Russian tortoises. And the Russian tortoise is kind of cool now because they just banned the importation, so they can't be imported anymore. So now it's like, or I should say not now, but by the time some of my little ones are big enough to breed, it's going to be captive bred is going to be the only way to get them. So their value should hopefully increase a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, for me, it's just for fun. Like last year, I saw a couple of my females laying eggs, and I was like, we'll let them ground hatch. I was like, I'm not even going to worry about finding these and dealing with all that with with the move and everything else kind of into new property. I was like, I'm just not going to deal. And it's the funnest thing in the world, man. Right before the fall, Eastern Herman tortoise babies I was finding. I mean, oh my God. Once you find one turtle, it's like all you want to do is search every enclosure. Called my kids. I was like, come on, guys, let's start searching. Literally, we found 3 Eastern Herman's tortoises in all. But it was really cool finding them. And those guys, I got them eating, and immediately they all sold. I was like, dang, okay.
Yeah.
But I've had Eastern Herman's tortoises for, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. And I'm finally getting multiple animals to sell.
See, when you were telling us, because you were telling us at Gettysburg about your whole enclosure setups outside for the turtles and stuff. I thought that was badass, dude. Like, that's really cool.
I wish I had a picture. I was trying to think if I had a picture on my phone at all. I don't know if I have anything recent, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I love it. I already got ideas in my head for another place where I could probably build another 1 or 2 enclosures, and I actually have some Florida box turtles that I'm raising up right now inside the shop, just some little babies. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you got to bring them all in the winter?
So everything I keep can hibernate outside. So
Nice.
what I have is in every enclosure, there's a they're called a cold frame. They're like a cedar cold frame, and they're designed for like gardeners to be able to grow plants in them and keep them. It's like a mini greenhouse almost. So I put that in each enclosure, and the turtles now all know. But like the first time, I would take all the turtles, I'd lock them in there for the winter, and for the turtles. Yeah, for all the turtle species, I put topsoil, sand, mulch, leaves, grass clippings, all that kind of stuff in the cold frame. And then they bury down into that. And then for the tortoises, I put straw, and they do the same thing. They bury down into it. And this is the time of the year where things are starting to come up. Like sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, cool.
I was like, my Chinese box turtles, they're like the last thing coming up. And I'm still missing a couple of them, which is also a little bit scary. But yeah, one of my big females came up today. I mark it on my phone when I find each turtle. But yeah, one of them I was like, yes, she made it. But yeah, it's fun, and I try. I'm still fairly new to growing things on this property, but at my old property, I had blueberry, blackberry, elderberry, raspberry. I had all these different berries that were growing in the turtle enclosures.
Wow.
I had these mulberry trees that hung over them. Tortoises love mulberry leaves and mulberry berries or whatever as well. So, the idea was to grow the food that they eat as well, so I don't have to buy as much. I mean, I still feel the need to supplement them with pellets and everything, and the occasional, boiled egg or whatever it might be, dead rat. They actually, box turtles will blow your mind when they will destroy dead rats. Like if you have a rat that doesn't get eaten and you have no one that wants to eat it, I'll put it out there, and man, especially when it gets a little bit warmer, they will all bombard this thing, just rip it to shreds.
Oh,
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy watching it. Like you would never.
You gotta do like a YouTube video, like of the not that, not
Yeah.
that. See piranha box turtles. But I'm saying like the
enclosure.
Yeah, the cold box.
Yeah, I should probably show everything off in this.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
But I think I did, or I don't even know if I ever posted it. I tried to do like the building of the new building and the building of the turtles enclosures, like YouTube series.
Yeah.
I think I did like the first 2 videos. I don't have to do anything after that. So I don't even know if I got to actually showing anything of true importance yet. But yeah, I'll try to do something and just post it.
You gonna start back doing YouTube videos again?
I keep telling myself that I should and that I need to and that I will, and then I don't. But eventually, I don't know why. It's always like
jump back into it, man.
Yeah, before baby season, I run into like this. Like in teaching, it was always the middle of winter when you're just like always bummed out and it's just dark at night, and cold and this that. That's the way I feel right before baby season starts. I have nothing like new and exciting to share, so I like barely post anything. And,
yeah. Well, your boys play sports too, right?
Yeah. Well, my daughter.
So you're swamped.
Yeah. Oh yeah, weekends,
sports. Oh yeah.
Luckily, I have my brother-in-law is like 23 and he lives in our basement, so I've literally been having him pick up my rats on the weekend, so I don't have to miss football or soccer. And then when I need some help, he's been good. He's helps me do rats and clean rats and things like that sometimes too, which is nice. But
that's good.
Well, you still got to pick up rats?
Oh yeah, that's really? my biggest thing right now. I'm spending money on is feeding my animals, which is rodents. And
you're not able to breed enough.
So I'm allergic to something with mice and rats. Okay. I'm actually stuffed up right now because I fed some animals earlier today. If I don't wear like a full gas mask, I'm done for the rest of the day. This is me after the gas mask. Wow. And I picked up my feeders today. So just putting them away, I didn't wear my mask and I'm all stuffed up from it. I have a bunch of ASF colonies that I'm breeding. Only main reason for that is they were just so expensive compared to the rats and the mice. So I got to figure out some way to save a little bit of money and not pay as much on my rat bill. So I bought like a big group of ASFs. And I've been breeding them, but I only have like 30 snakes that will only eat ASFs. Basically, if you'll eat anything else, I'll feed you the cheaper stuff.
Yeah,
small rats, and I pay whatever $2, $1.75 for, which are way bigger than the ASFs.
You got a rat guy local?
I'm sorry.
You got a rat guy local?
Yeah, Mike Lee.
Okay.
Downstate. Yeah, I meet it. It's like a 35-minute drive where I meet him, but it's a drive out to like country-ish type drive, so
yeah,
I'm not the driver, so
yeah, it's not bad.
We still use Rick out here. I can't breed rats where I'm at, so we got RKZ out here.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, all 3 of us are Rick.
Well, I have because I get people hit me up probably at least once or twice a week. Hey, do you sell rats? Where can I get rats? And he's on my list of things because I just have basically anybody who I've ever bought rats off of or new sold rats. I put them on my list and I'm like, nope, I don't sell them, but here's my list. One of these people is probably close to where you're at.
How you feed? Are you an every week guy or are you an every other week guy?
So I feed I feed all the female ball pythons are every week. My boas, I do 2-3 weeks. I feed them just once every 2 or 3 weeks. My males, I will often go like a small rat one week and then something small the next week, like a wean or just an extra pup that I have. But females, yeah, I just get them full of whatever. If they're eating ASFs, then adult ASFs or small rats if they eat rats. But yeah, every week. And I mean, it's like I said, it's my biggest bill right now is rodents.
Oh yeah.
If you're feeding every week, man, yeah,
we're doing
that's
it every week. We dropped every 2 weeks about
Okay.
4 years ago because it was just getting crazy. Like it was like the girls were outgrowing the bins, and I couldn't even use them because they were going into new bins too fast. So they were out. Some of them without gaining the ones I grew the year before. I was like, all right, I got to figure something out here. So I will keep them a little smaller now, ARS 10s or whatever, and feed them every other week.
Okay.
About like 300 grams. This way, they're sitting for like a year, but when I do move them up, I still explode. I'll start hitting them a smaller medium.
Okay.
They'll go from that 700-800 grams blow up almost 1,000 grams in 6-7 months at that point. So I was able to keep the snakes I was actually holding back and not just being like, oh shit, the better one's ready. I got to get rid of this before I even use it. So
Yeah.
the space became the issue.
Yeah, I've been supplementing with sulfurs too. I got about 16 colonies. So
Okay. Yeah, that's even more than me.
it helps feed the hatchlings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so you know, you can get them 5 meals in them, you know, instead of every 2 weeks feeding them, you know.
Yeah,
Do any of you know what a Venezuelan sun tiger is? And best tips for them by
I was gonna
chance.
say, I'm assuming like a retic or something.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Or is that like a tarantula or something? I don't know.
I saw Jeremy put that up. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
He popped it up there while we were talking about turtles, so I didn't know if there was a turtle.
I have not heard of that, but it could possibly be like a water turtle or something. I will be honest, I don't have my ponds are small, so I don't have a lot of like true water turtles, even though that is, oh my gosh, I get calls, especially during the spring and the summer. Do you want my radiator slider? Do you want my radiator slider? And I'm like, man.
Oh, venomous spider. Fuck that.
Yeah. I was like,
No, my wife, I would be homeless.
Yeah, nah. I would be homeless too.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, I do have to say, because with the turtle thing, I bought what the world was that?
I mean,
I bought a concentric diamondback terrapin for my daughter.
okay.
Her beta fish died. I told her we'll get a turtle. So we got this turtle. I tell you what, man, watching that turtle is the most entertaining thing I can do when I'm upstairs. Like if I'm sitting there trying to watch a show, I'm not really watching the show. I'm watching the stupid turtle. Like it's so entertaining. Like I just can't imagine like having the amount that you have. Because I'd be out there all the like nice summer day, nice spring day when they're all coming. I'd be sitting out there just waiting to watch them all.
Every day in this warm weather, I'm checking every enclosure. I'm looking for babies. I'm, whatever I can find. I find new ones every day in this, the beginning of the spring. I only have like one true. He's not even a true water turtle, but the Reeves turtles. They're like big enough that you see them in the pond. And like you're saying, even though the pond has a bunch of algae right now, I can still see like this like ghost swimming around in there. And like you said, I was watching, man. I'm like, this thing's cool.
Yeah. Oh my god, they're so fun.
Most of my other water, like my spot turtles, my wood turtles, they live in a pond that has like all this. I forgot what it's called. Hydrangea, no.
It's a hydrangea or something like that.
It's like that, but it's a water plant, but it has a name similar to that. So you can't ever see them unless their head pops up through all all these plants and algae and stuff. And then the mud and the musk turtles, they stay on the bottom. So I only see them once in a blue moon, like on a rainy day. They'll come up to look for worms. But the Reeves turtle, he's fun to watch. He just seems zooming around like a little ghost in there.
Now, out of all the turtles and tortoises that you have, which one would you more recommend for people wanting to get into a turtle species?
If you want to get into a turtle species and keep them outdoors, surprisingly, Gulf Coast box turtles are super hardy. All mine live outdoors year round here in Maryland, and they breed for me. My female will lay 2 or 3 clutches a year sometimes.
Oh wow.
My big female at least, and they wake up usually before everyone else. They stay out the longest, and they're the largest American box turtle species. So they're not like super tiny like a Eastern. You get some size. Like my big males they're solid 10-inch turtles. And
Oh wow.
Big heads with these white chins on them, especially when they become more aged and dominant. They're a really cool species. Turtle wise, that's one I would recommend. And they can go in the water. And tortoise wise, I would go with the Herman tortoise. They are not too big, not too small. Again, they can hibernate in the winter here in Maryland outside. You can grow a ton of food that they eat right on your property or in the enclosure. And I have successfully ground hatched eggs here. So that part too, I find really nice. And little baby tortoises are super cute. So.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Little tortoises are freaking adorable. It's doing your research, knowing what you're going to get in, what that little adorable thing's going to look like a couple years into it. That's the big thing. It's like the sulcatas and stuff. Get that cute little tortoise. Yeah, that cute little tortoise doesn't stay little very long. Yeah,
like I would love to get like a galop or a aldabra and get one of these ginormous ones. But I said to my wife, I was like, where am I going to keep it in the winter?
Yeah.
Especially once it gets 300, 400 pounds, like I'd have to build a building just for it. And turtles don't make enough money to be building buildings for one turtle, like sure, if I win the lottery or something, I'll do it. But
you could start up a petting zoo thing and give turtle rides or something.
Yes, I guess you could do something like that. And surprisingly, when I do some of these shows, man, people really never seen turtles, touch turtles. I expect the oohs and the ahs with snakes. I get oohs and ahs with the turtles and tortoises as well at some of these shows. Yeah. It's very surprising sometimes.
Well, I don't believe that because you figure there's a lot of people. A lot of it is just snakes. There's some lizards, but there really isn't many turtles. Turtle people out there.
Yeah,
there's a handful of them, but not many.
Yeah. Turtles and frogs stop people dead, man. A lot of pet people, especially, they just love them.
Yeah.
So. Well, I think there's something about a turtle, though. It just, I don't know. It's unique. It maybe goes back to everybody's heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. Yeah. Maybe it's just something stupid and simple like that.
People think turtles are cute and they're harmless and all that stuff. Like I look at a snake, like, oh, it's a snake, it's gonna hurt me. But you don't realize, a lot of turtles, man. You think a turtle bite? Oh shit!
Ooh.
Yeah. I wish the snake bit you.
Yeah,
I had a turtle bite me when I was a kid, and to this day, I remember how that felt. That was not pleasant. That hurt like hell.
Oh yeah. Let's stay away from those. I saw someone said they love wood turtles. Wood turtles are probably one of my favorite as well. It's just in Maryland, they're a protected species. You have to have permits to keep them, which I do have. And you have to go through a lot of hoops when you buy them. Even though mine are captive bred and I have permits, if I understand correctly, I can't sell them within the state to anyone else in Maryland, even though mine are captive bred and fully permitted.
That's how the Eastern box turtles are here. We can't so much as have them here.
Yeah. Easterns. So my permits are basically include the Eastern, the spotted, and the wood turtle. Those are my 3 big ones for the permit wise and all that.
Wow. You got any of them kind of turtles, Mike? Gotta come visit.
Yeah. And you were saying the tortoise and the hare. You got the hare ears right now too. It's a perfect thing.
It's all making sense now, ain't it, Mike? It's all making sense.
Once they popped that up, there's all right. I was going to try to be good. Nate made me do it, guys. Nate made me
quick about the bunny ears because I was going there.
Brittany wants to know, how do you set up your baby Eastern box turtles?
So when I actually incubate the eggs, basically I try to keep them, and I'm still learning with the babies. I'm not great at it at all. And I will say that everything that I basically do, I learned from Chris Leone at Garden State Turtle and Tortoise. He has a YouTube, all that stuff. I recommend a lot of people who ask me to buy stuff that I don't have to check him out. But he is where I get this idea from. But he basically keeps them in water almost 24/7. So, and I say almost 24/7 because he puts like little, I use rocks, but I put little rocks in there so that they can crawl up on the rocks to get out of the water when they want. But the rest of the time they can, it's not. So I keep mine like on an angle so that there is like a little bit of a deep end, but also a shallow end. So they have the choice. They can swim in the deep, they can hang out in the shallow, they can climb up on a rock to get dry. And I try my best to keep them like all winter indoors like that. And then this time of the year, got to move them outside, but you got to worry about safety. So birds of prey, your dog, your cat during the day, those are the things you got to worry about. So basically, I used to use like a mini baby pool, and I built a screen top that I put on top of there. But one time, very early on, we had flooding rains, and even though I drilled holes all around the side of the tub, filled to the top, and the poor turtle, I'm assuming I only had one in there at the time, but I'm assuming it had to have drowned because when I went back out of the storm, it was dead, and I was like, I don't understand why.
Oh, man.
I stopped using that tub, and I actually got I think they're called turtle tubs, but I got like the big one, and basically I used the well part. I just put a little bit of water in there, a few different rocks and stuff, and then I have just like a metal mesh that I cover it with. But that way it would have to fill up a lot before the turtles would actually, it would overflow into the dry land area, which I have filled up with dirt. So even if I'm in the same situation, baby turtle be able to swim into the dirt area and still be okay.
Yeah, I didn't think box turtles needed water like that.
So as babies, it's important. And again, my understanding is that so many people have that idea and they keep them in too dry climate. And a lot of the turtles that end up in rescues, well, for one, they don't get enough natural sunlight, but for two, they didn't get enough humidity as babies, and they get a lot of shell issues. So that moisture is really important. Even my tortoises. So when I have a baby tortoise, I keep them on what I use, cypress mulch or cocoa, whatever the bedding I have that's similar to mulch. I keep them on that, but every other day I soak them just so they stay hydrated and they get that water and humidity for good shell growth. Yeah, that's worked well for me. Now, a lot of the babies, like last year, I didn't pull any of the eggs that were laid. So I keep assuming I'm going to find more babies this year. But, I've heard that sometimes adults will prey on babies and things like that. I've never witnessed it. But I saw my Gulf Coast box turtle lay 2 clutches last season, and I didn't pull either of them. So I expect to find babies in their enclosure. I did, unfortunately, find we had a warm day, and then it got cold again, and then it got warm again. And that second warm day, I found a baby Chinese box turtle, but it looked like maybe it died before the winter even came. I know there's stuff hatching out there, and a lot of times when that happens, you don't find them until they actually get some size on them anyhow. So they survive the au natural way, the way nature has them do it.
Nice.
I was gonna say, you would figure. I mean, they're probably blended in pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, it's that's why I go so often. It's pure luck of the draw. I mean, I'll go down there, take a walk, see nothing. I'll go down there 20 minutes later, and I'm like, dang, there's breeding going on here. Here's a little guy. Here's one in the pond. I'm like, where'd they all come from? 20 minutes ago, there's no one here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is
cool. That would be cool. Let me run another sponsor ad here quick, and we'll get back into this.
Stop wasting time trying to prove out animals or taking chances on possible hets or genes you don't know that are there. Head on over to Charlie at Gray Rider Reptiles and ShedTesting.com for all of your shed testing needs. He's fast, accurate, and adding new tests on a regular basis. So head on over to ShedTesting.com and check him out. Make sure to use the code CARPET15 for 15% off of your shed test order. Use nothing but the best at ShedTesting.com.
What's up, Untamed and Unhinged? Tuning in. Nate, I also want to say hi to Nate, bro. You should be up here with us, man. We're like slacking, man. Tell you what.
Slacker, dude.
Slacking. But we'll let Nate. I'll let Nate slide there just because I got him the measurements for my Cat 6 line or whatever to run that line. Hardwired for a change here. So I'll let Nate slide on slacking tonight because there's a lot of footage. It's like 60 or 70 feet or some shit like that I need to get from point A to point B. So it's a lot of wire. But so Mike, tell us about your ball python stuff. What do you got? Like, what are your main focuses with your ball python projects?
So I am still a very big fan of clown. I'm finding out that more and more people apparently are not as big a fan as I am of them, both buyers and breeders. But I'm gonna go down on my sword. I got into where I'm at now is my collection was designed around clown, so I'm not gonna run away from it now. I do have a little bit of this, a little bit of that all over the collection, and almost, I try to get a little bit of almost every recessive. But clown is my ultimate goal. Like, I'm still trying to make just multi-codom clowns this season. I'm also trying to, add other things into the clown, hypo clown, DG clown, V-Bagxanthic clown, little things like that. And then I made a bunch of quad head and triple heads this past season. So I'm raising those things up. And again, I have a few for sale, but it's like nobody's even said a word to me about that stuff. So I'm like, I might just end up with like 5 or 6 of these triple and quad head females.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, just keep one male for them. And I'm like, you know what? When the time comes, I'll have that many more chances.
You know what that's all about? They're waiting for us to do them, and then they want the snakes cheap.
Well, originally that's what I was going to do too, but I was like, man, I'm waiting so long, I might as well make my own.
They don't. A lot of these people don't understand the timeline it takes to make some of this stuff. By the time I make it, it might be the price you want it for, but you're going to be waiting a long time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I was actually talking with Brian about that at one of the shows. I was like,
yep.
I'm just going to wait till people are making enough triple visuals and quad visuals that the price is not so crazy and just buy myself into those projects.
Yep.
I'm just going to focus on making some cool co-dominant, like multi-co-dominant double visuals, things like that, while everyone else is making the triples and quads.
The thing is, they keep on waiting, Mike. Nobody want to have it, and it's still going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The long, like some of it, the longer they wait, more people keep dropping out. So at the end of the day, there isn't going to be enough people doing the stuff, and they might be missing out.
Yeah, the people don't realize timelines on this stuff, man. 3 years, you buy a baby, like 3 years from now, you'll make something with it. And like you don't get in that year, you lost that year. Now it's 4 years. Now it's 5 years.
Yep.
So,
I've seen someone post like a triple pos head. It was like 50% this, 50% that, and 50% this. I'm like, oh my God.
It took us 5-6 years to start making these triple heads to get the snakes big enough to have the genetics to put back into these snakes.
Yeah.
So, totally get it.
Now your hypo clown stuff was nice. I think you had that like with the Odie yellow belly something.
Yeah, so that's an interesting story. So back in the day, this is like the early days, because I actually looked at my message with the guy. I think I had bought a Spark B for like $900. Grow this thing up, breed them out, and I make ivories. I bred them to a yellow belly. And I'm like, oh my God. So I hit the guy up and I'm like, hey man, I'm like, I paid $900 like 2 years ago for this male, and he's supposed to be a Spark B, and I'm trying to make Pumas, and I made a bunch of ivories, So I'm like, what's up? And he's, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, yeah, it happened to me. So what can I do for you? And I was like, well, I'd love some money back. I was like, I basically bought a yellow belly spider, not a Spark B. And he was like, okay. Well, months go by where I'm not getting any money, and I realize it's never going to happen. So then I'm like, all right, well, what are you working with? Maybe I'll try to pick up some new animals. And he basically made these things, and he called them, had some extra genes on them, which at the time, and I'm not saying either of those girls have these extra genes, but it was just interesting. I didn't even care about them. Like, what EPG and, granite gene, this, that. And I was like, whatever. They're double-head hypo clowns. I was like, I want to get into that project. So I got a group of them. I think it was a 2.2 or a 2.3, all double head hypo clowns that apparently came from these animals that also carried all these granite yada yada genes. I didn't write it down when I looked the other day. I think one of them, they called them ERG or EPG.
ARG?
Was any of that stuff graphite?
Maybe granite. I don't know about graphite.
They had a gene called graphite that was back when the Puma boom was going on, and it made these ivories were speckled up and all this stuff. And I remember some of the call letters for some of this shit, what you're talking about.
Well, I never thought anything of it.
Yeah.
I got those girls. I bred them to actually the same male that made the two really nice hypo clowns. I never made anything that was crazy. I think I made a pastel hypo clown that I held back. I made nothing crazy. I didn't hold back the first probably 3-4 clutches. I barely held anything back from it. But I was like, whatever. I got these double head girls. I got this really nice male, which actually turned out to be great because when I picked him up in the trade, I think he only had like 3 of the genes that he's out of 5, I believe, that he's now proven he carries. I think he's a pastel, calico, fire, hypo, het clown. I believe that's what he is. But he was sold as just like a pastel calico hypo het clown. So I believe the fire is the new. I don't remember. Whatever it was a plus. And then he made those 2 really awesome girls, and I was like, man, that's awesome. I hope to make more. And then I went and looked back because I saw on my feed card thing that I keep on the snake. It said who I got it from. I was like, I gotta look back, and I was like, man, I wonder if those are playing into it, And then you're just wishful thinking, oh, I got something cool, I'm gonna be the next thing. But we'll see if he makes any more of them. I don't even know if the genes came from him or not, but I'm definitely happy. Oh, he's spot nose also. That's what it was because these girls.
Yeah, you had a spot nose fire hypo clown girl.
Yeah, spot nose is the other gene that was not originally supposed. I think it was spot nose and fire were the 2 that he was not supposed to have when I got him in that trade. I think. But I was like, yeah, I'll take both of those.
Yeah, now they're cool. She's cool looking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm really hoping I put into both the double head girls. I'm gonna put them to I think a daughter of those girls that I held back. So I'm hoping to actually make some more that I can maybe sell finally. But
did you hit any calico? Any calico ones?
So I think one of those girls has calico in it.
Okay.
One of the 2, yeah. Again, I think, but I don't know for sure. But
gets a tough and clown, the calico and all that.
Yeah.
Definitely wax them out though. Pretty cool.
Well, Chris, I think I learned what to look for with calico and clown just from you.
Yeah, I got
talking about it because I did that one pairing, and I was hopeful that I hit calico and the clown combos, and I missed every one of them.
Calico's so tough in the recessives, like it hits and it looks insane, but like there's certain animals they hit with different combos. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
no, she's pretty
pockets even too.
She's a good example, but she's pretty easy to tell.
Yes, you did, Nicholas.
Now see, like I said, he goes. It's easy to tell. That has the bang pattern.
No, all that's
I feel like with calico too, as they age, it comes out like better.
Yep.
Like when they first hatch, you're like, I think that one is, and then after a couple of sheds, you're like, oh yeah, it's definitely a calico.
Yep. It has that melty side, craziness to it.
Yeah.
Look at him flinching.
Her. Yeah, her. I want her. She's a slow grower, man. That's the one thing about calico. I know they're slow growers.
Yeah. So, with that being said, like this year's projects, Mike, like what do you most
watch it, Chris? I thought he was gonna.
What'd you do this year that you're like really got your fingers crossed, hoping something lines up and just nail it?
So I had a black pastel cypress leopard clown boy, and I put him with some fun girls. So I'm excited about what could pop out from him. And then I had a GHI cypress clown boy that I also put to some. Who did I put him to? I think I put him to a black pastel. It's like a weird black pastel het clown, but it actually gave me. It's the mom of the cypress black pastel leopard clown, and I decided this year I'll put the GHI cypress clown and try to get GHI on top of that pastel cypress clown. And then I put him to a red stripe girl. I love the GHI red stripe interaction with clown.
Yeah.
What else did I put him to? Oh, I put him to a black pastel GHI clown, so I can make super GHI black pastel cypress clowns.
That sounds sick. Yeah.
I like that combo, that color pattern, as you can see. So those are all ones that I'm like just sticking with just a straight single codom, that I'm really excited about. What else?
Yeah, I would tell anybody if they're starting out with clown, like if you're a clown guy or whatever, you can't go wrong with Cypress, you can't go wrong with Spot Nose, and according to me, Black Pastel for sure.
Yeah.
They're the three really top dogging clowns. And then said if you like a Cypress look but a little darker, Mahogany and Blackhead, of course. Like
I was just gonna say blackhead. The
them
blackhead
couple
clown
of jeans,
stuff got my attention.
you can get all them jeans start comboing off each other, and GHI is a really good one too. But at least they have the looking clown, like they're different looking, whatever across the board versus some of these other clown combos.
That's part of what I still love too about the industry is that there's still so much to do with even the single gene clowns, like
so much. So much. We were just talking about this the other day. Blackhead clown hypo. It's not even been one sold on Morph Market. Not one single gene blackhead hypo clown with blackhead gene it's been sold. How crazy is that, right? Like everybody's like, oh, everything's been done. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's a single gene hypo clown. Like it's not even sold yet.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Like
I'm growing up a blackhead double head hypo clown.
Yep.
She's like 1,000 grams. I'm like, come on now, let's get the size, girl.
It seems like to me, like everybody's on, and they're in that they've got the blinders on because it seems like it's the race to who can hit the triple, the quads, and the pentavisual recessives. But no one's putting in and working the single recessives to their full potential, and then working the double recessives to the full potential. And when they get to say they hit the pentavisual or the quad visual,
like you said,
it's going to be a normal of all of those, and then you got to go back to the beginning anyway.
Well, back to your words, though, you're like everybody's working towards this. All right, cool, they're working towards it. But the thing is, if you look up hypo clown, I can promise you when you go to punch that in, because I look at it a lot, because I always look to add genetics to that project, because I love it. What's the most you see? Pastel, maybe Mojave. It's all the really old single genes that might be the double or whatever, like a pastel Mojave or pastel leopard, hypo clown, butter, blah, blah, blah. But if you look for like genetics that are like not so common, well, they're common, but they're not so common in a clown still. Mahogany, blackhead, GHI, like spot nose, like they might be one or two there, but they're the ones that are still $4,000-$5,000, right? Like you might see it, but it's still the way top end of the pinnacle of it. But they still wonder, like, oh, I just seen a ghost clown for $300. But bro, you didn't see the spot nose version with the spot nose GHI version. That's $5,000 because there's like 5 in the world, right? Like there might be one for sale. That's why it's $5,000. People can't get past that.
But even like I was talking to you the other day, I couldn't even find like a OD yellow belly double head.
Nah, fuck no.
I was like, holy shit! I can't believe I couldn't find an OD yellow belly double head.
Yeah, a lot of people need to get in line. And like I said, these heads that are on there, like somebody has a ghost 100% head clown that has these genetics, buy them up because somebody smart's going to see it and get it. And then next thing you know, you're like, damn, I wish I would have had that because every minute you don't have it is a minute, literally, you're put farther behind that project. You ain't making it if you ain't growing it.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's funny you say it like that because when I'm coaching the kids in wrestling, I'm like, every push-up you don't do, that's a push-up someone else is doing, and they're getting ahead. It's the same thing here. It's an arms race, I have so much going on, I'm taking the year off. Well, now you're a year behind the people that you were at least even with before, and the top of the pyramid, those guys are so far ahead that, when you fall farther and farther, it sometimes feels dismal, I want to real quick. I do love Bongo. I saw in the comments. I love Bongo clown stuff. I'm a huge fan of it. I have a Bongo clown male that's, God, he's a mouse eater and he's taking forever. He's like 500 grams. So I'm like, please start breeding for me.
And then Bongo has a nice layer to the clown.
Yeah, I love the Bongo.
What about he won't take soft furs?
So he did. Oh, that's awesome. Voodoo Royals. I just saw what you said. That's awesome. That's actually one of the males. You got a male from my male. It's almost the exact same thing. Sorry, what did you just say? I was reading that comment.
Yeah, me too. I forget. It won't take ASFs?
Oh, sorry.
The mouse eater won't take ASFs? So
last week he took an ASF. I literally every week I'm like, rat, because I have plenty of them. ASF, no, mouth boom hits it. Last week, when I did the ASF, he hit the ASF. I was like, yes, he finally ate something that's a little bit bigger than a mouse.
Yeah. I was trying.
Like,
I'm sorry?
have you tried moving them around the rack? Because I knew some of my males, they could literally be in a rack next to another bin. I move them over one bin, they'll start slamming because it's like a clean bin to them or whatever, like a new spot. And I have to move some of these males sometimes during breeding season. I've run into that, like, stop eating. I'm like, all right, you son of a bitch. I'll move his bin, and next thing you know, he's eating again.
So it's funny you say that. Basically, he had stopped eating even mice. And I have 2 of the ARS hatching racks. I literally just took his tub and moved him to this one, and he started eating the mice again. I was like, all right, that worked.
That's the first thing I try when the snake stops eating. I'll just move their tub around. Each feeding, I'll just move it here, move it there, and I'll clean, just wipe it out, and eventually they'll start nailing it. I swear to God, they just get tired. Some of these snakes just get tired of like being in the same spot. It's weird.
Yeah. Who was it? I saw a YouTube video with Crutchfield one time, and he said that they like market, I guess, with scents, so like they know if they've been there. And then if you think about it in the wild, if you're in a termite den for so long and you're crapping in it and peeing in it and this, that, and the rest, you might be like, hey, we got to roll up somewhere new. This place is getting nasty. So
that makes sense.
We talked about that last week about literally what they do is a python in the wild supposedly sits in a termite mound like you were talking about. They'll sit there, wait for a rat, eat, shed shit, and then roll out, and then go find somebody else's termite hole and freaking lay there. And then I say the bins are just like that though. Once a snake sheds in that bin, sometimes you gotta really wipe it out, like get the Clorox wipes and clean the whole entire hole, or move them and move somebody else in that spot because it's new to them. Because another ball python in the wild probably going to the termite hole where something snake shed and shit. Like, it's my place now. Send it up. And the cycle continues, right?
Mark it all up.
I think, I swear, like sometimes we just leave them. So a lot of people leave them, and they're like, oh, they're all food. Well, move them, pick them up.
Might as well try everything that you can find.
Take them on a car ride, like put them in a snake bag, take them on a car ride. I'll take some snakes to zoos that aren't even for sale just to literally shake them up.
Yeah,
I've done that before.
I've done it.
It usually does the trick. You bring them back, put them in a new spot in the room, and next thing you know, they're back on fire.
Yeah,
man.
My pastel OD Exantic girl that's at Clown, she's either good. I don't know if I'm going to take her to a show, just to, like you said, John, just to kind of frazzle her up a little bit, try to spark her off again, because she's been basically when some of the other females started going off because of their follicles and some of the other males going off because of the breeding, she shut off too. But now she's close to that point where she's probably hitting that wall basically. But it's like, all right, we're let's get you past this crap, because I wanted her up and running for next season, and if she stays where she's at, I don't know.
So, Mike, breeding the balls and all this year, how many clutches you shooting for, or do you have a roundabout? Or
so, I mean, I think my best year ever, I had 63 clutches. Last year, I believe I had 45 clutches. I was hoping this year to probably do around the same as last year. At first, I was like, oh, I'm going to take it easy because, the market's not good. But then I was like, you know what? I might as well, if I have them and I'm feeding them, I might as well just, breed them. And, worst case, Outback, Ian gets I think
a lot of us have the same mentality.
But, we'll have to see. I mean, like I said, so far I've had 2 clutches dropped, and I had 2 ovulations. I got a third girl who's close, but I've been super lazy with the ultrasound, so I probably got a lot more going on, and I just haven't got around to checking it.
You still pairing right now, or are you? Locking up?
So basically, I started pairing all the girls that didn't go last year, which I figured was partly because of the move in November. And what I do, I pair once a month for 5 months, and then if you have not gone after 5 pairings, 5 months, I stop breeding you for at least 2 or 3 months in the hopes that you still are going to just go on your own. And if you don't, I'll start that process over again in 2, 3, 4 months in that range, depending on how the animal looks, if it's eating and everything like that.
So you're breeding like season round, like trying to.
Yeah. So basically, all my like 2.5-year-old girls are all coming to size right now.
Okay.
I have a bunch of girls that are between 1,300 and like 1,700 grams that are all just coming to size. So my hope and goal is, and most of my males are actually still eating. knock on wood.
Yep.
Kind of transition them right into these girls and go now. Unfortunately, I had a bunch of males I was trying to get up to size, and they're all sitting at like 400, 450, 500. I threw in one the other day. He was like 515. I was like, come on, man. Do me some. He goes to the corner, hides in there. I was like, all right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have thrown you in too soon. You know?
I got enough issues with the 600, 700 gram males freaking chickening out on them, man. I'm like, come on.
That's what I love. Like, that's my favorite size for my males. Like that
me too.
600 to 700 gram male.
I got this one male I wanted to take into a couple pies this year. It was just a really crazy looking pastel lace yellow belly. And he's had pie, and I'm like, and he's possible had clown, but I'm like, this be great. Like, this dude goes, that son of a bitch, man. He just crawls in the back of the bin. Freaking mother just wraps around him like he's a pile of eggs. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me with this.
Yeah. I love the lace pies too, man. I hope that boy gets home for you.
Freaking gorgeous. But yeah, he ain't gonna do shit for me.
Well, that was what was going on with that Exantic clown boy that I got from JD. Was I put him in? I mean, he's got plugs. He's up to size. Put him in with the female. He'd go sit in the corner, the farthest away from her, or like John said, female coil around him like a clutch of eggs. Basically, it's like, what the hell's up with this? Is not right.
It's always
then all of a sudden, one day, the switch flipped, and all of a sudden, he's a breeding machine. He knows exactly what he's doing. He'll lock her up within probably the first 2-3 hours.
Nice.
Once I stopped caring, Jeremy. Once I stopped caring, like I made some lace pie boys last year, and once they're up to size, I guarantee they'll lock before this dude. It'll just be like, I'll stop caring. I'm like, hell with this head, right? Next thing you know, he'll start locking everything. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Hey, I'll be right back, guys. My wife wants me to try to switch the breaker real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, you're good. You're good. While you're going here, I'll run the last sponsor ad quick. Let's see here. Here we go.
Head on over to Triforce Morse if you're looking for that missing piece in your ball python breeding project. While you're there, add a little bit of lace or citron to the mix, folks. John and Christine can also hook you up with the crested gecko, so don't forget that. Turn up the heat with Triforce Morse. If you want to use the best reptile record keeping and tracking software on the market today, scan the QR code or click our partnership link in the description down below for a free 30-day trial of Husbandry Pro. I promise you will not regret it.
Let's see. Aaron, what's up? Aaron says his monsoon male started at 575, didn't eat for months, stopped locking for a month, and then started doing both again. That's funny. Sometimes, man, that shit just, it never ceases to amaze you. I know I've got the Bang Boy. I mean, his season's basically done. He's been off food for a little bit, so I'm going to do some switching up on him here, and hopefully,
really,
yeah, dude. Like,
I lucked out with my boy, man. He's breeding like a rock star, and he's eating like a rock star.
He bred like a rock star, dude, but he just kind of said the hell with eating food to here for the past, I'd say maybe 2 months.
Yeah,
you can't tell it. He looks great, but
my DG clown is doing that to me right now.
I've got females that obviously, they're building follicles, so they're in that. Do I make room for the follicles or do I make room for food? So they're obviously, most of them are picking the follicles. But I've got some girls that are like low, like they've got follicles, but they're like 8 mil, something like that, but they're all food. It's just like, what the hell is it, like, why? So I don't know if it's all the hormones floating in the room that's got them not acting normal. It's I just don't know. It's kind of got me.
I want to try switching the tub around, like John said, because I've given them bath. I juiced them up with Da Vinci boa, and
No, I haven't done the Da Vinci boa yet on them. That's another thing I should try to do is give them a dose of the.
It's a good vitamin supplement. So.
Oh, it is. I've used it before, and it did great. But that's something where. I've got it on hand. I should just use it.
So, are you a hero? Did you fix it?
She did open all the windows, though. She must have heard me talking.
Yeah.
Down there making fun of me for not thinking about this.
Well, it's the funniest thing. So we've had an issue with this. I think it was heat previously, but I randomly switch 2 circuits in the circuit breaker, turn it off, turn it back on, and it would work every time. We had an electrician come and he goes, "Yeah, the things you're switching aren't attached to anything." And I'm like, "Well, they work every time, so I'm gonna keep doing it." That's all I just did now.
Yeah.
Ricky wants to know, are
I've
you doing Hamburg?
only actually even been to Hamburg one time, and that was a long time ago. It's like almost a 4-hour drive for me.
Okay.
I'm not good with driving. Back in the day, my wife did the driving before the kids were here, and I could do shows that are farther away. I'm like 30 minutes into a ride. I'm like, I can barely stay awake. But the other show is Gettysburg in July.
Okay.
Oh, you're not doing Oaks? You don't do Oaks?
I haven't done Oaks yet, but I do. It's on my list of ones to start trying to do.
You doing Repticon next one?
I haven't signed up for it yet. I barely have. I only have 50 steaks right now for sale, so I don't have a ton of stuff. And with the late season,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I have stuff for the table in Gettysburg.
We're skipping Repticon. Oaks falls on the same day as Repticon this year.
Well, I've heard great things about Oaks, so
Oaks is a decent show, as when it doesn't fall on the same day as freaking Gettysburg.
Falling on the same day as Gettysburg a lot of times. Oaks is very comparable to like Gettysburg size-wise. It's kind of like the very, very similar kind of show.
Wait, so Oaks and Repticon are falling on the same day?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. So I skipped Repticon this one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Repticon's expensive.
Oaks is in my backyard. I mean,
Yeah.
What's the date for that Oaks?
I think it's the 29th.
if Christine's still up,
of
she'll put it in the comments.
Because I'm trying to think.
She's good with all that date shit, man. I'm just like, where are we going? What weekend?
Tell me where I'm going, dear.
Exactly, man. Triforce don't work too well.
Did you guys see
May 3rd?
May 3rd, okay.
May 3rd, July 19th. Yeah, so their 25 season is May 3rd, July 19th, September 6th, and November 22nd.
So July, it's on the same day as Gettysburg again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which sucks. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Well, May 3rd isn't going to be the same date as the Repticon, though.
Yeah, I don't know when Repticon is.
I'm under assumption that it's the same day. It's the same weekend as Repticon.
Well, I do remember that. Where the hell's Christine at? Christine, wake your ass up.
I'll look it up.
Because literally she watched the what's it called come up, the tables and all, and then she looked and saw that Marty posted day for Oaks this season, and it was the same freaking weekend. I was like, yep, we're done.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I think I'd do better at Oaks in one day than
It is. It's May 3rd and May 4th. He's right.
Okay, so May 3rd. Okay.
And that's
my wife, man. She tells me what's up.
Yeah, no. So that's 2 nights in a hotel. That's 2 nights at dinner. Yeah. So
yep.
You gotta
used to be killer, man. That used to be our best show by far.
Yeah. The first couple ones I've been to.
And a couple Repticons a year would make up the entire year, like for us sometimes. And then just since COVID, it was just to me, it's just been nosediving. Like they stopped taking money at the door.
Yeah,
a lot of like bad stuff started happening with that crap. So I remember being at the one show. I don't know if you were there. I'm like, they were turning people away at the door. They had a line because they didn't have pre-ordered tickets. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was at that show and I was like, are you guys kidding me right now?
Yep. People are just walking away from the door. I'm like, you were just literally just taking people and people were pissed at that point. They're like, F you. We'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were telling them go out in the parking lot and buy tickets online. And then
they were
that's just stupid.
Yeah, that was
You remember that whole with the Repticon during COVID too? They would only let so many people in the building, and then they would clear out the building.
Yeah, clear it out.
Make them all go outside and let them back in. I was like, all right, this is getting weird here.
Yeah. And then that one winter, you said they like, the place was freezing. They had the
that door, and they lost I don't know if they necessarily lost the heat, man, but my table over by that door was like 55 degrees.
Oof.
I blew out 4 freaking cables of heat. I went back and bought them off of Tony, the heat cable and shit. We were blowing them out because they were just running full force all day.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I remember one time it snowed and there was like snow on the ground, like snow, and people were all leaving early and they're giving everyone crap. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm hour drive. I was like, I'm not. I'm freaking leaving now before it gets bad.
They were so
Yeah.
mad I left early, man. Well, I'm like, I'm in PA. I'm not, and it was a Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It was a Saturday night it came in, but like Sundays were always kind of slow there. I'm like, I am not sitting here overnight. Thank God
Oh,
we didn't.
it was like
got,
a serious storm too.
Yeah, it got crazy.
I was driving my pickup truck with 4-wheel drive on, and I would watch these cars fly by me, and then I'd pass them. They were off on the banks on the side. And I was like, you see me going slow with 4-wheel drive. You shouldn't be passing me like that, man.
We had
Yeah.
a trailer, and our Durango was only 2-wheel drive because at the time when we bought that, it was like a difference of $15,000 for 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. I'm like, I don't need it for. I'll stay home for the snow. Well, shit, I needed that 4-wheel drive a bunch of times.
And you had the trailer too.
I had the trailer too, man. So we left, and we caught some serious heat for leaving. They were pissed. They were
mad at us for the last show.
Yep. They're like, you put a big hole in our show. I'm like, a hole? Just move people up. Like, whatever. Yeah. Oh, well.
As I say, they've done me some favors in the past too, though. I will say that. So I'll give them credit for that. Like, I remember I kind of played the system a little bit. I knew I didn't want to do 2 days.
Yeah.
Like you said, Sundays are never great. And my wife, she had something going on that weekend. So I was like, literally maybe 2 weeks for the show, I saw they had open tables still. So I called them up and I was like, hey, I'll pay you the full, whatever, $95 for an end cap for 2 days, but I can only come on Saturday. Are you guys cool with that? And they basically, the lady was like, yeah, we're cool. And then when I got there, she was like, don't worry if anyone says anything to you. Because when I packed up at the end of the day Saturday, so many people were like, what the hell? How are you leaving? I was like, I worked it out with them. I was like, oh my God, it was the best I ever had. I only had to stay for Saturday. I got to go home.
Yeah, they'll fine you if you're like, it's crazy.
I think they'll ban you too.
They will ban if like you just up and left. Yeah, they'll ban you. Like, I think we got lucky because we would have been allowed back in because we did talk to them more about it afterwards. But they were pissed. We told them when we came in that morning, like straight up, we're supposed to get a bad storm, and I was like kind of okay. But when I did it, when I started packing up, it wasn't okay anymore.
Yeah.
It was like, where are you going? I'm like, it's starting to storm.
Well, that's the thing too. Like you've got to. There comes a point where a little bit of common sense has to come into play. Or people's lives and their animals' well-being worth more than a couple tables at a show?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if people are concerned about their well-being and the well-being of their animals, don't give them flack. They're trying to be responsible. They've got families they want to stick around for. There's a little bit of common sense level. Now, if you're doing it just for whatever reason, well, that's one thing. But if it's like a weather-related issue, like I think that there needs to be some, give and take on that.
How far are you from Oak Show, Mike?
I think it's like 2 hours, but I'm not even sure.
Yeah, because we're like, it takes us about 2 hours to get I don't know how close you are to Repticon, but it takes us about 2 hours to get to Timonium from where we're at. And we're 10 minutes from Oaks.
Repticon's about 1 hour for me.
Okay. Yeah, so depending on the angle, it might be 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That's not too bad. Hey, man, come on up. It's a decent show.
So we have a good time at it.
What's the city is it in?
It's outside of it's 25 minutes outside of Philly.
It's at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center,
which is still like an easy half hour, 40 minutes, depending on what part of Philly. And they just use that Philadelphia name to get the people to draw in.
It's Oaks, PA, right off of 422.
It's closer to Norristown and King of Prussia area.
So Philadelphia is like 2.5 hours, it says.
Yeah, so Philly, like I said, it's another half hour, 40 minutes past even where Oaks even is. They just use the Philadelphia name.
Okay.
They're nowhere near Philly.
Yeah, I mean 2 hours not bad. Plus, I give me a reason to get a hotel.
See, Brittany says Marty should still have tables for May 3rd. I would I can't do it, man. Hamburg / Morgantown's going to be my last show for a little bit. I've got literally, I think, 7 animals total left. So it's I get after Hamburg and Morgan, like I can't justify doing any more shows for a little bit. I've got nothing. I've got literally $50 steaks basically. I've got 2 animals that are over $50 sitting here yet.
The only reason I say
that's
that
where I said that. It's just like
I got animals left because I'm too lazy to list them. And I'm putting up a lot of holdbacks.
I've got one killer carpet python, and I've got one is a spider leopard clown male, and that's it. Or a bumblebee leopard clown male. Sorry, that they're the only ones that are over like $50. Everything else is sitting right. Actually, I do have that pastel. Where is he? Odienchi pastel pied.
Do you have that clown listed on Morph
Kodiak.
Market? Do you have it listed on Morph Market? The clown, the carpet.
I have the carpet. I have the clown and the carpet listed on Morph Market. Yeah.
Okay.
I listed the female because I listed with the carpets. I listed the 1.1 female went within a day.
Oh,
I
nice.
got a message the very night. Well, actually, that night, middle of the night, I woke up to a message for her, and I was just like, I looked at the message. I was just like, son of a bitch. Like I was hoping she'd stick around a little bit longer.
Let's get in with Mike. Mike, you said you've been kicking around for about what, 14 years? 13
Something like
years?
that, yeah.
So with the ball python the community the way it is, what excites you? Like still like, is there any genes you're still trying to get into, or any kind of combos that you haven't tapped into yet that you're trying to get your hands on?
So I've been checking out a lot of this paint stuff. I don't know how I feel about it yet. So I went with Brian last weekend. Brian was vending what is it called? The Reptile and Plant All-American Reptile and Plant Expo in Charlotte.
Yeah, Troy show.
Oh, he vended it? Nice.
So Brian was vending. It was all Brian's stuff. I just went and helped him. I got like the free ride.
Yeah.
It's a huge venue, nice show. We didn't have the best location in the place. We were kind of blocked. They do like black curtains, which are nice, but they totally block out your sign. And where we were located, you literally would have to walk there to know we were there because you could not see us from either entrance because of the black curtains, even though
set up more like a real expo.
Yeah, it's a huge building, yeah. And the people that you could see were like, there was a crochet person and a plant person. So we were like, damn, the only people that are walking over here are people that want plants or crochets. So nobody's sitting right here, you know? So we did have the best seat, but the show itself was big, it was nice, and I'm blanking on the guy's name. Oh my gosh. Well, whatever his name is, I can't think of it right now. He had a hypo paint that he wanted 10 grand for, and it was like, I mean, I thought it looked a little bit small to be developing follicles, but he said it already was developing follicles. Last he ultrasounded it.
10 grand. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, wow, 10 grand.
Yeah,
on day 2, I believe it said shoot your shot. And I was like, well, maybe you can go for less, but at the end of the day, he ended up not selling it. And like I said, I'm still don't know how I feel about it, but I like to try to get into the recessives. I know that there's value there, and I have a little bit in most of the recessives. Like I'm not a huge puzzle fan yet, but I got a bunch of het puzzles that are, I'm breeding, and hopefully we'll make some visuals. And I have a ton of tri-stripe stuff. I'm working that project pretty big.
Nice.
But yeah, I not the last Tinley, but the one before that. So 2 years ago, Tinley, or no, I guess it was a year ago, Tinley, because they're only year-old snakes. I picked up a double het paint pied pair. But the male is like super cool. He looks like a pied. But wherever I got it from, he was like, yeah, there's no way it can be a pied because the animals were a paint and a pied. And he's like, I have no reason to believe that either were het for the other. So it's just be double het paint pieds. But I was like, all right, you know what? It was a cheap price, or inexpensive price. I gotta have that male. He's just so cool looking like a pied when he's not even a pied. I then picked up a pastel paint, possible yellow belly, from someone who they originally got it from Breeder Circle. So I was like, okay, kind of looks just like a pastel to me, like maybe a nice pastel. But I was like, all right, I'll try it out, and someone was getting rid of a bunch of adults, so I picked it up pretty inexpensively. I bred the double head to it, just gave me 8 eggs. So I'm like, all right, maybe I make some paint stuff this year that's possible het pied, and I can shed test. But so yeah, I'm looking into that. I do want to get more into the DG Clown combos.
Mm-hmm.
When DG Clowns were super expensive, I picked up my male, and I still yet to make a DG Clown myself.
I'm in the same boat with you, buddy. So is Chris.
Same here.
Yeah, so I'm like, and then at the show, I saw some nice ones that I saw a black pastel chocolate DG Clown That thing was pretty sweet.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've seen on just scrolling through Morph Market, I've seen some cool ones.
Your buddy makes some pretty killer ones too. Bane.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, his first year he made like 5 DG clowns. I think 4 of them were OD DG clowns.
So sad.
Like,
Right?
I'm 3 years after I bought my man. I still haven't even made a DG clown yet.
Yep.
Some people got all the freaking luck, man.
This year's my first year actually trying to even shoot for him. I'm using freaking heads, like a visual clown head, and then the double head and shit. I started that one from scratch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've been looking at a lot of Justin has G-stripe DG clown stuff, and I've been looking at a lot of like the males he has up for sale there because I have a ton of G-stripe clown stuff, and I think bringing in the DG is good for that project because a lot of what I at least have are darker morphs in my G-stripe clown combos. So I'm like, walking the line, maybe some of that Mario yada yada DG het clown het hypo het G stripe, one of those crazy looking males maybe, and add that to the stock.
What's your thought on like cryptic Krypton stuff?
So I have not jumped into that at all yet, but I keep telling myself I want to. It's just I want to get like the perfect male, and I guess it just hasn't popped up in front of me yet. Oh, Monarch and Ultramel are also ones that I really want to get more into.
You better come see
Which
me.
one though? Which one
I
though?
know you're gonna have some shit I want. I'm gonna have some crazy ass cryptic
Let's
Ultramel.
say you got to pick. You got to pick one or the
I
other.
don't have either really. I have hets for Ultramel. I have nothing for Monarch.
Okay.
I saw like Justin's Monarch clown that was $12,000 and then got lowered to $10,000. I was like, ooh, no, I ain't doing $10,000 right now. But
I haven't jumped in on Monarch yet because I'm so invested in Ultramel. I'm scared to jump into it, like to spend the money on it and then open up a whole other project for something very similar to what I'm already doing.
Yeah, to what you're already invested in.
Yeah.
Well, that would be my question: is why do both though? If they're both so similar, I mean, I know that they're different, that they're slightly different color palettes, but it's still so similar.
It's similar, but it's not. It's a very dark version of an Ultramel, and some people really do like that look. But I do find as time goes on, people are starting to switch back more towards Ultramel because just, in my opinion, it's the prettier snake. I mean, because it's just the darkness that starts taking over a lot of the combos, and people love that crazy like burnt orange and pink and all that stuff.
Yeah,
which you kind of lose with the which you kind of lose with the Monarch. You don't get the real crazy burnt oranges and pinky colors because it turns more muddy.
Yeah,
like the Ultramel is more like orange, and the Monarch's more like purpley.
Yeah,
Monarch's not purpley at all. It's like dark
burgundy.
It's like very burgundy,
chocolatey
almost looking like weird.
So Justin has a red stripe Ultramel clown, or he did on Morph Market, and I was looking at that thing a lot. It was nice, and the pictures of a baby, but I think it's like a 2023. So I was like, man, that thing's probably already a breeding size animal. So I was looking at that. At the Charlotte show, I think it was Herpen. What is it? Herpen
Harbins?
Yeah, I think it was Herpen Harbin's table. But they had this guy. Where's my camera at?
They do Monarch.
Yeah, Monarch double head clown G stripe.
That's neat. Like I said, it has that real dark tone to it.
Yeah, like get a better shot of it. But that burgundy look. And I was like, yeah, that thing's cool. But
I call the color mauve, which doesn't come across right. It's like people are like, that's not mauve. I'm like, that's mauve. Mauve is like.
Otherwise, Jeremy didn't ask him the most important question yet.
What's that?
What line of Exanthic?
He already said it, and I already know it. He's a VPI guy. I'll let him slide though. I'll let him slide though because he's been in it for so long. I'll let him slide on it.
Oh, is that why I don't let him slide? Because it's been so long.
Yeah, John, I can't let you slide though because I converted you, and then you just up and sold everything off.
Because I have more VPI than I had TSK, and it was like small, so. I had to chop something off, man. It was kind of like what you just said. Why do one when I already have the other?
Well, exactly.
At least with like VPI and TSK, they're so similar looking. Like they're similar looking. Only difference is you're freaking Exanthic turn yellow, so I don't know.
Hey now, hey. It's like John said though. He told me, he goes, you know what? I'm just gonna wait till you make something really badass, and then I'm just gonna get it.
Smart.
You can't work everything now. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes, Ultramos hold their color like crazy. That's why I jumped hardcore into that.
Yeah.
A 4 or 5, well, probably
Dude,
6.
Candy too, man. That Candy girl I got from you. Holy shit.
Candy is like one of the most underrated freaking jeans on the market. I don't care what anybody says. Like a pure Candy that looks good are just some of the best looking adults there are.
So the quad hats I made this year were Candy Pie DG Clown quad hats.
Nice.
Candy Pie DG. Oh shit. Yeah.
I wonder what, yeah, Candy and DG, huh?
We'll see what happens when the time comes. I got a few years, but
I've seen the DG banana. I wonder if it'll look kind of similar to that because it does clean up the banana a lot.
yeah.
I wonder if it really cleans up like a Candy, right?
Yeah.
Well, it'd be cool if it added some contrast.
It'd be cool. Yeah, right. If it does the GG thing where it takes the blacks and make them real black, maybe it takes the purple and makes it really purple.
Yeah.
See, I had some Pos Het DG banana. What were they? GHI, black pastel, banana, Pos Het DGs. And I thought about testing them, holding them back. But I got the things like, is it really good? Like, what's it really going to do? Because I never saw a DG banana yet. So it's like, do I really want to, like, is it really going to justify doing it?
I mean,
so I sold them all.
Would I go out my way to make DG bananas? No. I mean, I personally, I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't wait to make these hats. But if it hits, and you line them up, it does help the banana, right? Because it turns the spots not so black and cleans the pattern up a little bit. So
I think it'd be interesting to see like a black pastel GHI banana DG.
Right.
Yeah.
You bring the dark in, and then you bring that DG on top of the dark.
Yep. That could be interesting. Something that holds the dark color in DG and doesn't turn cream color.
Yeah, I'm still liking your other combo you were talking about, the black pastel, cypress, leopard, clown.
Yeah.
I like what black pastel and leopard do.
Yeah, that cypress stuff is going to be off the hook.
Yeah.
Well, cypress seems like it's one of the.
Cypress is the most underrated.
It's hitting hard now. Like everybody's wanting to jump on cypress.
I still think it's one of the most underrated jeans on the market. I got like a handful. I can't believe the world's not just going after cypress. I feel the same way about lace. But they're quick to go on some of these other genetics. I'm like, whew, man, you were going the wrong way quick, man. You're gonna be in trouble in 5 years. Because the Pied Piper, man, he stopped playing that tune at some point. Just remember them words.
The one I'd love to add is Adder.
Adder's another cool one.
Adder's one that's like, man, it's got my attention, especially with that one I saw over at Nate's place. I saw that. It's like, okay, I think I've got to dip my toes into this.
That's the best adder on planet Earth, though, man.
It is.
He got a bang adder in from at the Derpic Dungeon. Oh my god, that snake is so ridiculous.
Yep.
It's a contrast on that thing is just off the charts.
So I just saw that question. So it's funny enough because I've heard recently that black pastel Barnett line genetically tests different than the other black pastel. But I didn't know that years and years and years ago when I bought my first snake from Ozzy, and I got myself a Barnhart line black pastel ivory male who I bred to all sorts of girls in my collection. So I did pick up other black pastels over the years. So I honestly don't know my black pastel. I just call them black pastel. I don't call them Barnhart line, but I know that a lot of what I do have is probably Barnhart line, since one of my main males that I have for many years was that.
Yep.
But yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of things. Like when I got my first specials, I didn't know there were different lines. So I didn't even ask the breeder. And then years later, people are like, well, what line special is it? I'm like, I have no idea. I call it special.
Yeah. You're like, which ones are there?
It's super special.
I did the same thing with specials. Like, what special is it? What kind are there? It's special. Was it no cal or whatever? I'm like,
Baker's line or something.
Yeah, Baker. That's
Baker's, NoCo.
I'll be like, which one looks better? Yeah, that's the one I got.
Yeah, that's the one. It's fire, dude. It's fire.
I'll be like, use the eye test.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, a lot of that stuff started mattering lately, and it's so funny. Like, I'm the same boat as you, Mike. I bought Barnhart as Barnhart way back, Then I got a E&G line, and then everybody was like, "Oh, this is another line of black pastel," and they're all different. They totally do look different. I got certain things running through the pies versus the clowns versus the ghost stuff, and I'm like, I don't freaking even know this point. Like I don't even, like I said, yeah, it sold me as Barnhart, but I'm afraid to freaking even put that on and shit unless I test it on myself and like, you know, would have go down that wormhole, it starts getting real expensive real quick.
Yep.
Well, hell, you haven't tested shit yet, John.
Jeremy.
But confusion and acid, did they also recently test to be different?
They say they're different, but they still doing the same combos, right?
Yeah. So I bought my animal as a confusion, so I call everything confusion. But I had people that bought them from me who called them acids because they liked the name better. It was shorter, and I'm like, well, now I even wonder, well, is mine really confusion or is it acid? But do I want to pay just to get that aspect tested? Not really, but.
I got some cinnamons that were so darker than my black pastels when we first started. I'm like, you couldn't tell because unless it had like them eyebrows in it, but once you start doing clown combos, it starts taking a lot of the eyebrows out of them and shit. So I ran a couple snakes for a couple years. They were just the baddest ass, darkest cinnamons. I thought they were black pastels. What the hell did I know? That's what it was sold to me as. Next thing you know, like somebody tested one, was like, "Oh, John, that's some kind of crazy cinnamon line." I'm like, "Oh."
Did you guys see that one that
what up, Kevin?
Ken Masick, whatever, posted the funeral?
Yeah.
I think it was wild how dark it came out.
That head red and clown, man, when it hits right when special like gargoyle stuff and supers, it does hit nice, man. It gives that crazy xanthic-y kind of look to them. Yeah. Gargoyle, clown. What else did you say was in that? Blackhead and something else?
Yeah, I think blackhead, head red xanthic, black pastel maybe.
Yeah, black pastel or cinnamon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to breed my cypress acid head hypo boy.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think I just want to throw him. I'm going to throw him to that OD yellow belly fire hypo girl.
That'd be cool.
I want to see that.
Bald head.
I'm really digging.
So what
really
genes do you
digging
think
this
make the comeback this year? What genes do you think people are going to be hot to try for?
That's what I was just going to ask.
That's a good question. What's Justin's next video about?
All right. Every year we have a handful of snakes that people just have to have or talk about. The funeral clown. So that's the early season being talked about. How dark that clown is, and it's so funny. It's like it took all the pattern away, all that shit, and people are gonna run to it, including myself. I think it's awesome. But then you have other people like they want all this color pop and shit. And it's like we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think that's awesome in a clown because you don't see clowns that look like that.
Yeah. And in my mind, I started to think too, like that and Ultramel, like
right.
What is that gonna look like? Like how does that? I saw at Tinley a chocolate Ultramel clown. I thought that was awesome. I saw Straight Fire had the Stranger Ultramel clown on his table. I was like, these are awesome, like those dark morphs and Ultramel. I think with like that funeral one, that'd be a cool direction to go with it.
Hell yeah.
I feel like Hypo's kind of made a resurrection with Puzzle.
Definitely.
Hypo's been big. I feel just all over.
Yeah.
Hypo, everything, man. Hypo, no combo with Hypo, and it looks bad.
I've seen Hypo clown combos and GG clown combos with the same extra stuff, and I swear the Hypo clown combos were better with it.
100%, dude.
I was like, every time I see that, I'm like, yep, that's the one I like, and then that's the Hypo, not the DG.
I had a guy hit me up the other day, and there was a Hypo clown that went off a Morph Market auction. He's like, dude, it's only at $100, and I'm like, well, I was like, don't let that one fly because you get the genetics now. Hypo's out there. But the thing is, man, before the COVID boom, Hypo, man, wasn't really talked about at all. Like, I had a ton of it. And I always just made it because it was just fun, easy sell kind of snakes, and I loved it. Now Hypo in the last 3-4 years have made such a comeback. As you said, the clowns are looking better than some of the DG stuff. Yeah. The puzzle stuff that the Hypo, it's like out of this world. That Mandarin stuff. Mandarin by itself is kind of like, eh. You put Hypo in it, it's like, it's kind of cool. Like,
well, now, I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. Did Hypo make the big comeback because of the stuff with the DG testing and the DGA, B, C through Z?
I would say
is that what made Hypo come back?
I say it came back before that debacle.
Okay.
I think enough people don't understand that or care enough to understand it. Also,
yeah.
So put it past them.
I think what happened was it's just like anything else in this hobby. Once everybody starts going for the same exact thing, of course the supply goes way up and the demand starts coming way down because people that got it already. Then you have a second wave of people that want it. They'll get it. They'll pay their price. And now this is the last wave of it, basically, and that's where all the cheap snakes come in because people already got it, aren't buying it again. They already got it. The people from the second wave already paid for it. Now these people are kind of like, it's cheap enough. I'll buy it. So I think that's kind of what happened to DG. Just like DG was out way long time ago. DGs were only $100 a piece. I mean, Christ.
I remember doing a Frederick, Maryland show, one of Larry's shows in Frederick, Maryland.
Yep.
And a guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you have any DG stuff?" And I was like, "What the hell is this guy talking about? What's DG?" I had no clue. God, do I wish I had it then, you know?
Yeah.
He would ask me all about it though, and I was just like, I don't even. This guy's crazy. I don't know what he's talking about, man.
I'll never forget it. Ian came in. It was after remember the desert debacle, basically just the desert ball python. So Ian got these desert ghosts in, and I'm thinking they're desert ghosts, like you know what I mean? Not a
desert and hypo. Yeah.
So he's like, bro, look at these things. I'm looking at them. They're like, oh wow, look how pretty the colors, and I'm hearing all this bullshit that females don't breed. So I was confused as hell, and he was like, they're only like $100 a piece. I was like, you keep them snakes that don't freak. He's like, that's not the same thing. And I'm like, no, because I didn't want to hear that shit, right? Next thing you know, man, the DG boom started coming in, and now there are thousands. I'm like, oh my fucking God. I guess they don't have anything to do with desert. And I think that's why they were so cheap in the beginning, because I think a lot of people thought they were desert ghosts, not desert ghosts. It was one of the worst names for a snake at the time, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, horrible.
Well, I don't even know why you like. There had to have been a better option somewhere.
Oh, there's so
than
many
that in general, especially knowing that there's two different genetics. You know, with those names, like there's somebody should have been thinking a little bit more on that one.
There's a couple snakes over the years, man. Was basically their name was their suicide. The desert ghost in the beginning, I would definitely say was one of them. Het red xanthics was another one because literally people cannot get in their heads it didn't mean recessive. They're like, well, it says a het, so it has to be, and people like would fight about that shit back in the day. You're like,
how come your het red xanthics are black and white like the other things? I'm like, they're not the same thing.
Yeah, that one definitely suffered from it. There's such a few, but
isn't there a gene called Daddy?
The freaking whole Platy.
Oh, Platy Daddy.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not buying something called Daddy. I have to say Daddy all the time. Like,
Platy Daddy stemmed from the butter gene, basically. It was just a bell recessive. They did look a little different than butters. And then he named them platinums. And then when he made the supers, or not the supers, but they started calling them daddies. They were Platy Daddies and all this shit.
Yeah.
I stayed away from that too, the same thing. I was like, looks like a lesser. Like,
come by my daddy.
Yeah.
Come by my daddy.
That was like Gold Blush Mojave back in the day, man. Remember all that shit was Gold Blush Mojave?
Oh, yeah.
It was just a lighter version of a Mojave.
Yeah. It was a very nice, selectively brand Mojave.
Well, it wasn't.
That was Brian.
Brian Gundy.
Yeah,
Brian Gundy, his Gold Blush.
He's a nice guy.
He was on my first YouTube videos I found too, man. He was just so nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had him on. God, it's been a couple of years ago. I had him on.
I think it's so crazy because I've been doing this a long time, but it is funny. Like I'm sitting here now talking to Mike, and you were one of my influences of starting doing this.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Like when I turned on YouTube back then, it was Brian Gundy, Brian Barchak. My husband's channel popped up, and you were in your basement. And you were
my basement. Yep.
You had your cool ass boa freaking cages. I'm like, oh man, look at them cages, they're so fucking cool. I went out and got some boa files.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, now we're like set up almost with each other at freaking Gettysburg. You're on one side, I'm on the other, and it's crazy. I feel like I've grown up doing this with you. Like, it's almost the same timeline, but like I said, when I got in, they're channels I found.
Yeah, one of the ones that I mean, I guess when I think about it, it doesn't surprise me as much, but it did surprise me in the moment was oh my God, I'm blanking on his name, but Jersey Guy Balls, the kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, you're one of the people I started watching YouTube, and I was like, oh damn, dude, that's freaking awesome. And now, I mean, they were able to invest a little bit more than I was able to invest, but they're like, making some amazing stuff.
The first clutch of snakes they ever had, I sold them a grab a female.
Nice.
They made banana leopard pies, and I checked all my girls I took to the show. I just got the ultrasound, and I checked them all but her. And I'm like, you ain't doing shit. Next thing you know, freaking he hit me up. He's like, this girl's grab it. I'm like, what? and this is going back like 4 or 5 years. They still had good value. He sent me pictures. I'm like, son of a bitch, son of a bitch. Like, but yeah, I'm like watching them grow too. Like I said, they came in, they bought some of our first snakes off us too, and now the stuff they got, it's like, god damn.
Yeah, I can't afford it. It's some nice stuff.
He's down there kicking it with Justin, like, oh yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
What's the best snake in your rack? Yeah, give me 2.
Yeah, I remember when he bought that black pastel clown at the show. I'm like, fuck, I didn't even see that.
Yep.
That was crazy. Got that big breeder black pastel
for like $500
yeah.
or something. Yeah, I'll never forget that day too.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap. I'm like, I missed that.
Yeah.
Everybody missed that.
See, I saw I think he was trying to get, what was he trying to get? I think he was trying to get something from Levance. And Levance will like, he at Straight Fire, he like will not negotiate. I was like, dude, you're crazy. I'll never turn that much. I was just happy to be standing there and I heard him and he just like, whatever, some crazy amount of money for some animal on his table. And Levance was like, no, I can't do it. I was just like, oh my God, I would never turn down that much money. I don't care what the snake is.
Levance is another one that I not idolize, but I respected when I came in because of just the way he is, man. He is just I love listening to Vance talk, man. He gets it. He's so funny. He's just like, I don't care. Like,
yeah.
And he makes some of the best stuff on planet Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good dude. That's
well,
great.
guys. It is that time. I hate being the stickler on times because everybody knows a lot of times we plan on 2 hours, but it ends up going for 3. Mike, we're gonna have to get you back on, dude,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I think there's a lot more stuff we wanted to probably cover. I know there's more stuff I wanted to dive into.
Absolutely.
You got to get Mike back on when he's booming and them snakes. You start showing off them crazy.
Yeah, I got some babies.
He's got to do the next show from the facility.
Snake room.
Yeah, so I'll be dripping a little bit more, but
all right, man.
Yeah, you're
Put that fan on you and show us some of these cool ass snakes you got sitting down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
People love to see eye candy, man. They love to see the eye candy.
Yeah. We get spoiled knowing you and get to see some of this shit at shows. A lot of people watching don't get to see this stuff, so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll try to do a short video on my turtle enclosures too. So even if I don't post it to YouTube, I can show you guys.
I see, yes, or video, pictures, something.
Yeah.
Because you could even send it to me, and I can put it up through here too. So
yeah, Mike, get your ass back to YouTube, man. Do some
facility. Yeah, I gotta get on it. Funny thing is, I bought one of the little cameras and everything. I just never did.
Remember, like I said, I'm sitting with you. I mean, I've been doing this for whatever, 13 years, whatever the hell I've been doing this. I started watching you, so imagine if people start watching you again, man.
Yeah, thank you. It makes you feel good, man. Yeah, gives me a good reason to get out there and do it again.
Hell yeah, man. Definitely.
See, I don't regret ever starting the channel. I know that much. It was a big step to do it, but once you got doing it, it's like, you know what, we got this. But like you said though, Mike, too, during that off season there, like you get into this thing of, well, what do I make content on at that point?
I loved watching Mike because Mike was like me, he's a regular guy. Guy had a real job. He just literally opened his camera up and had cool ass snakes. He showed them on the internet. That's a lot. I think what YouTube's missing these days is guys like that. It's like everybody's like tries to be so professional stuff. I just like the rawness of like, yo, man, I'm not sitting there claiming to know everything. I slap these things together and these crazy eggs. I don't even know what the hell they are. Like, it was just so raw and real because like I can't tell how many times snakes crawl out. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they are. Like, and everybody expects me to know. They're like, John, you've been doing it 13 years. Well, dude, it's something that's never been made. I can't tell you.
But it's crazy cool. When they shed a couple times, they turn into a completely different snake.
Yeah, whole new snake. Yeah.
Like I said, so it was nostalgia having Mike on here. Like I said, people probably didn't know that about me while watching him back then. Like I said, we grew up doing this together. Basically, we've been in the same shows for the last decade.
Yeah.
But he was, like I said, an inspiration for even a guy like me. So definitely get your ass back on her. Get some new people on her.
I'm gonna work on it.
I said, we'll get you back on, Mike, man. I promise.
Absolutely.
I promise.
Thank you.
Buddy, I have no idea what the hell we're going to do for this week's video. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a shot off of John's little idea here and just go. Maybe we'll do like a rack tour. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But next week we do have God, I'm drawing a blank. David Brams from the Reptile Perch. So we're going to be going over some green tree stuff along with just his his business that he's got going on with his perches and all that stuff. So gonna be an exciting, awesome show next week as well. Do not miss it. Make sure you guys all hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Don't forget 8 p.m. next Sunday here. I better not freaking have to be in as early as what I got to be in for this week because this is just kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I can get it. Normally I got to be in by like 6, so this is bumping my time.
Don't they know you're a YouTube star? Like, what the hell, man?
Dude, I gotta start telling me like, yo, do you know how much YouTube pays me? Or you guys better start matching this shit.
That whole $1.62 you make a week, god damn, man, don't they know?
Who was it? Somebody said something was going on. Oh, it was my brother when we were out at Comic-Con coming back. And the lady at the Annie Ann stand told me they didn't have any cinnamon sugar pretzels. My brother looked at me and goes, dude, you just should have stood up there, looked at him, pitched a fit, and been like, do you know who the fuck I am?
That way they can look at you and go, you ain't shit.
I'm a YouTube star.
Oh, well, man. Well, get to bed, Jeremy. Mike, great live, bud.
Thank you, guys.
Just hang tight here 1 second, guys, because I'll play the thing. It'll put us backstage, and I'll say good night to you all properly. But everybody, thank you very much for joining us, tuning in tonight, and we will see you next week here, 8 p.m. Have an awesome rest of the week. Happy Easter, and take care, guys. Later.